Hey guys, welcome back to the movie summary. Beginning of the movie we see a couple. Husband name is Evan and wife name is Karen. Both of them are living happily with their children. Karen works in an art gallery. Evan is working as an architect. One day they plan to go to the beach. But Evan suddenly gets a work which forces him to stay at home. So Karen goes on vacation alone with the kids. Evan stays at home with his dog. Evan works at night. Just then the calling bell rings. He opens the door and sees two girls drenched in rain. Their names are Belle and Genesis. They tell Evan that they got lost on the way to the party. Also says our phones are wet and not working due to rain. Then Evan invites them into the house and gives them towels. He also gives an iPad to know the location of their party. Genesis finds the party location. It's a long way to go from here to their party. Then Evan books a cab for them to go. It takes 45 minutes for that cab to arrive. Both of them were very wet from the rain. So they freshen up and come to Evan. Evan prepares coffee for them. Then the three are talking together. He asks them that what you do. For that they say we are working as air hostess. Later they tell Evan how the work they do is. So they both seduce him. Then Evan feels a little uncomfortable. So he gets up from the sofa and sits on the chair. The cab is still 20 minutes away. The girls ask about Evan's wife. He says that my wife works in an art gallery. He also shows his wife's arts. As they talk they come very close to Evan again. Evan ignores them and checks his mobile. And the cab is only 5 minutes away. Evan feels happy after seeing this. Because he did not like the behavior of those two girls. As the cab arrives, they both go to the bathroom. Then Evan goes to bathroom to dry their clothes and says your clothes are ready. Also says that a cab is waiting outside for you. But they both ignore his words and remain in the bathroom. No matter how much he called, they would not come out. So he puts his hand over his eyes and goes into the bathroom. There they both bathe naked. They are teasing him that you should also join us. But Evan tries to get away from them. Because he is already married and has a family. That's why he ignores them. But as they both become very close to him, he cannot control his feelings. Then he make private time with them in the bathroom. Even after entering the bedroom he makes private time with them again. The cab driver waits for them there for a while. After some time they did not come, so he left. When he woke up in the morning, the girls were nowhere to be found. Then he thinks the girls are gone. Just then he hears them laughing from the kitchen. When he goes into the kitchen, the girls make a mess of the kitchen. Just then he gets a video call from Karen. He goes outside to talk to her. After a call, he comes into the house and angrily tells them both to go out. Then they ignore Evan's words and destroy his wife's arts. Seeing all this, Evan gets very angry and threatens that if you don't go, I will call the police. They both laugh at his words. They tells him that we both minors. You spent private time with us last night. If you call the police here, they will put you in jail first. Then he realizes how big a mistake he has made. Just then the calling bell rings. Evan opens the door, and Karen's friend Vivian is outside. She asks if you need any help with him. Then he says I don't need any help. He worries that Vivian will see the girls in the house. Just then Genesis comes out and hugs Evan from behind. Vivian thinks that Evan has an affair with that girl. So she scolds him and leaves. Evan gets very angry with both of them. So he calls the police. Then Belle and Genesis are afraid. They say to Evan we will leave here. Then he takes them and leaves in his car. After going a short distance, he drops them near a house and leaves from there. Then he comes home and cleans the whole house. After cleaning he does his work. Just then he hears the sound of something falling in the house. His family photo is on the floor. While he was taking that photo, Genesis hits him in the back of the head with a fire extinguisher. Hence Evan loses consciousness. After a while he wakes up. The girls tie him to the bed. Evan yells at the girls to untie his cuts. But they ignore his words. Belle comes to him wearing his daughter's school dress. They both try to undress Evan. Evan tries hard to stop them. Just then a video call comes from Karen. Then Genesis tells him that if you are not spend private time with Belle, we will lift your wife's call and say that you are enjoying with us. Then Evan says I will do as you said. Later, Belle gets intimate with Evan. Then Genesis record a video of them both. After a while Genesis leaves for food. Then Evan uses all his strength to cut his cuts. Then he pushes the bell. He angrily goes to Genesis and grabs her neck. Genesis then stabs him in the shoulder with the fork. Hence he falls unconscious. After a while he regains consciousness. They tie him to a chair. The girls play a quiz game with Evan. After a while Karen's colleague Luis comes there. He came to take the art made by Karen. Then the girls hide Evan in a room. Later Genesis opens the door and invites him into the house. They tell Luis that they are Evan's cousins. Also says actually a thief entered the house. Evan went out to catch the thief. Then he sees Karen's art. That art was corrupted by Genesis and Belle. Seeing the condition of the art, Luis is suspicious of both of them. He says Evan has no cousins with them. Just then Luis hears Evan's screams. Immediately he runs to Evan. The girls break up Karen's art while he unwraps Evan's cuts. That art is very expensive. So Luis tries to stop them. Meanwhile he gets asthma. His inhaler is near Genesis. He falls on Karen art while about to take the inhaler. Hence he dies due to head injury. The girls laugh out loud when he dies. Seeing them laughing, Evan realizes that Genesis and Belle are psychos. Later they both pack Luis's body with a cover and put it in his car. After that they both send messages from Luis and Evan's phones. Through those messages, Luis and Karen are having an affair. They create a scene that Evan knows about their affair, and he killed Luis. Later the girls dig a hole in the garden to bury Evan. On the other hand, Evan tries to call his wife through iPod. Just then Genesis comes there and takes the iPod and scolds him well. Later those girls make the house messy. They also cut Evan's hair. Genesis finds Evan's gun in a room. She tells Belle to untie Evan's cuts. Genesis tells Evan that now we both play hide and seek game with you. If we find you, we will shoot you. Evan goes to hide at home. The girls look for him. Thinking this is the right time, Evan runs outside. But Genesis catches up with him. Then Evan screams for help. But Genesis threatens him with a gun and keeps him silent. Then they tie him up. In the morning the girls will bury him in the pit. But Evan's head is out. They says we don't want to kill you. We want to enjoy by torturing you. Later, she shows Evan a video of Belle being intimate with him in his daughter's dress. She uploads the video from his Facebook account and titles it Happy Father's Day. Later they leave with Evan saying we are going to torture someone else. He desperately tries to get his hand out and try to delete the video. But accidentally he likes the video. After a while Karen comes home with her children. She is shocked to see the situation at home. This is how this movie ends. I'm working hard to make these videos, it's my humble request to subscribe my channel.